Guys, this is my final prediction video for Shawn Porter versus Keith Thurman. Those of you who watch my Keys to Victory video will know that my opinion is that whoever can control and dictate the range in this fight is the guy who's going to come out as successful. You know, both guys have ways to win this fight. And as a result, this means that this fight is a highly entertaining, highly competitive matchup that I'm, for one, am very, very much looking forward to. For me, the blueprint on how to beat Shawn Porter is there. It's well established, and that's the Kell Brook fight. Put simply, jab and grab. You've got to control Porter from range. You've got to try and keep him off you. You've got to try and land a cleaner work from range. And when he's in close, when he's pressuring you, you've got to try and control him, big man him, outstrength him, however you want to phrase it, by holding him and negating his inside attack. For Porter, you know, we kind of know what Porter brings to the table at this stage. He's a relentless presser fighter. He is very much a guy who likes to get close and rough opponents up. Both guys have the tools to beat the other guy. The question for me is who's going to more likely be successful in implementing their game plan. You know, if I look at Keith Thurman, I think for Keith to win this fight, he's got to put in a very disciplined performance of athletic movement, a persistent jab, and strong holding and closing down of Porter's game. And my concern with Keith Thurman is I don't see him putting in those performances. Keith Thurman for me doesn't have the jab of a Kell Brook. Keith Thurman for me is somebody who is more of an explosive power combination puncher. You know, very flamboyant, very athletic, very eye-catching, but not someone who's necessarily got the developed jab or the developed holding game, which is a real art in itself. You know, to get to the point where he's able to close down Porter and pick up the rounds like Kell Brook did. That's a major concern for me in this fight for Keith Thurman. If I look at how Porter's going to win this fight, banking punches to the body. Thurman, he's cutting too much weight. He's getting older. He's been inactive. You know, he's had the car injury. He looks very drained in the lead up to this fight. Porter needs to bank bodywork. Porter is a much harder puncher for my money than Luis Collazo, who had Thurman really out on his feet with a body punch. Also, I question with Keith Thurman, he's someone who, for me, only has the use of his power punches and only has the use of his most effective offense at range when he can throw long punches. You know, for me, he's not a guy who has the same effect when he shortens his punches up. So, for me, what Porter needs to do fits in very nicely with what Porter typically does do in a fight. He needs to close down the range. He needs to be tight to Keith Thurman, so Keith Thurman is unable to utilise those long-range punches. He needs to bank work to the body, and he needs to try and wear down a man who's possibly too big for 147, who's been inactive, and who, to my eye, appears to be having some teething problems making the weight. Now, what I'm getting at here, for Keith Thurman to win this fight, he's going to need to do something that I haven't seen him do before, a disciplined jab and grab performance. For me, Porter has the key to beating Keith Thurman here. Porter's style is exactly the style that I would write down if I was thinking of the perfect way to beat Keith Thurman. I think he's a stylistic nightmare for Thurman. And all Porter needs to do to implement that sort of key to victory, if you like, is to fight the fight he usually fights. It's not like Keith Thurman, who needs to do something very different and, in my opinion, needs to implement change in the way he fights and in terms of game plan. All Porter needs to do, for my money, is do what we're so used to seeing him do anyway, which is that high volume, aggressive, presser fighting mode, cutting down the range and, you know, roughing someone up and giving them an absolute nightmare on the inside. You know, I think, for me, Thurman has not been tested at this level yet. I think Thurman, as he stepped up, has potentially looked slightly vulnerable in terms of, I don't want to say stamina, but vulnerable in terms of taking shots to the body. And I just think Porter's going to wear him down. I think from the first minute of the first round, Porter's going to be all over him. I think Thurman's going to be running all around the ring trying to get his space to land the big punches. And I think Thurman, who as I say, is very tight at the weight and has been inactive. It's gonna start to gas. I really do. Porter is super fit, super aggressive. He brings almost like a unique presser in there. And he's going to be hitting Thurman to the body. He's going to be making it uncomfortable for him. He's not going to be giving Keith Thurman room to breathe. And I actually think Porter is going to completely take away the Thurman game from him. I don't think Thurman's got the discipline or, frankly, the skill. I just don't think it's in his armoury to set up a Vladimir Klitschko-esque jab for 12 rounds. I don't think Thurman's got the inside game to deal with Porter, and I think Thurman's going to get worn down here. I think Porter's going to rough him up. I think he's going to get inside quickly. I don't think Thurman's going to keep him off him, and I think Porter's going to rough him up, smash him up to the body, wear him down, take away his game by not giving him room to move, and I think Porter will stop him late. I think Porter's so relentless, so aggressive and so fit, and I think he's going to grind him down to the point where the referee jumps in, or till, you know, when he can actually drop Thurman, because Thurman's hurt to the body or something of that nature. I'm picking Shawn Porter to win this fight by KO. You know, Thurman's not out of it. He's got big power. Of course, he's got a chance of winning in that sense. But do I really see him outboxing Porter over 12? I don't think I do, actually. I don't think I do. I think it's going to be a tough night for Keith Thurman. Styles make fights, and for me, Porter is exactly the opposite of what you'd want Keith Thurman to be fighting if you were betting on Keith tomorrow night. Let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this one, do hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I'll be making a post-fight video, so if I've got it completely wrong, subscribe anyway so you can see me eat my words. Many thanks.